All right, who's got music on? Yes. Yeah, we also, what is that, Jewel? Okay, so everybody take out your computers, make sure we're all in the layout file, and we're gonna go over line weights, and I want you to like change it right now. And we're just gonna look at the panels layer, and we're gonna look at graphic standards. All right, so your heavy line, make sure the diamond is black, and make sure the print width is 0.35.
Are you recording this?
Yes, but you should do it now.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Okay, so then look at line medium, make sure it's black, make sure it's 0.18. Huh?
What was
Heavy
heavy?
is 0.35. Medium is black, 0.18. Light is hairline and black. Pattern gray should be dark gray. So open it, make sure it's the dark gray. And I don't think anything should have line weight, but make it 0.18 just in case. We're hitting.
You already have a set on your thing, right?
Yes, it should have gone with it, but so your line dashed, make sure that it's black, and make sure it's 0.18.
Oh, you have a separate layer for the grid. The lines on the curve.
Yes, yeah. For your line heaviest, which is only for the elevations and sections, make sure it's black and do 0.5. Yeah, it's going to be our thick guy. For the pattern gradient, this is the lines on the house, the ISO curves, the thingies, whatever rings the bell for you. Make sure that it's gray, not light gray, gray, and 0.18. And for the pattern gray, which I think is, or the grid, which is your tile, it should be dark gray and 0.18. Then the other ones you shouldn't be seeing on your print files, except for in the sheet. Make sure that your detail view is set to no print, and any of your def lines are also on no print. All right. So theoretically, I'll leave this up so you can look at it. Make sure you have it, but theoretically, we all should have the same line weights now. And before you export it to a PDF, double check that they haven't changed, but if you copy and paste into this file, they should remain the same layer settings. All right. And then maybe to talk about, hold on. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you guys dizzy, I promise. Axon test. Alright, so to talk about line weights in this file, this isn't a perfectly clean image yet, but kind of just go over some of the stuff I was talking. Don't make 2D until you're sure your model is the model you're going to be using for your final Axon. I mean, it's good to make 2D and test to see how it's looking, but once you kind of are sure this is the make 2D you're going to use, then you go in and trim and do line weights. If you trim and do line weights and you're still working on the model, it's going to just waste time you don't need to. So, with that said, just similar to the other line weights, you want to make sure that the profile is going to be your heaviest, so make sure that's heavy. This is a little bit messy, so ignore the fact that this isn't cleaned yet. But you'll make the exterior of your house heavy. Layer heavy. Any protrusions that are a little bit bigger, like the roof line and this guy, they'll be medium. Is that already on medium? Yes. And also the lip will be medium, and then you move inwards and smaller things will be the lightest. So the door frame and also this light. I would make the ground medium.
Do you want little block structures so you can do?
Yes, I would, yeah, those would also be medium. And then the skylights will be similar to what they've been on your other drawings, where the profile is in medium, and then the stuff inside of the profile is in light. So let's change this.
Can you send out a PDF, like a screenshot, and also show your colors and send that later to like, so we can see like what's what? Or should we just,
I've been debating doing that. Part of me thinks that would maybe make yours better, but part of me also thinks that maybe you wouldn't learn as much if you didn't. Yeah. So my answer is maybe. I'm thinking about it. I might talk to the other instructors and see what they're doing, because Thomas is big on applied knowledge. But I'll send you the guys this, which basically has that anyway. That's supposed to be medium. Okay, so one other thing that I talked to you guys about was faking it till you make it. When you make 2D, you're going to see things like this. If you zoom in, you'll notice my sweep did not match up my back extrusion by, let's see, 0.41 inches. A huge issue, clearly. But the way we solve this is you just clean it up. So I'm going to just move this line so it matches. And let's trim this. Oh, let's actually split. And that's kind of weird. What is going on with that? All right. So first this will go away, and then just kind of extend it. And that looks wrong. So, and again, you always can put in picture. Oops, I didn't put on the right thing. Let's try this one. All right. So you kind of zoom in and be like, oh, what does it look like in real life? Okay, this isn't the best one, but we see that there's a little bit of lip that goes away. So when in doubt, photo it out. So yeah, I have that copyrighted, so don't try to steal it. Clean it up. And just like that, we resolved that modeling error. Similar to here. Oh, I think that one's okay. So does that make sense about how to clean it up if you don't have something that looks good? Oops, what's this? Also, with Make 2Ds, there's often a lot of like messy lines. Okay. How do we feel about line weights on our axon? Do we have the gist? Maybe? Again, it's not done, but it's most of it. Okay, so for the reach, which some of you will feel panicked, but don't. This is an optional challenge if you are feeling really good about modeling and want the extra push. It won't hurt your grade if you don't do it. It's kind of like what we did in exercise 0, where that you could make 2 pyramids if you wanted to keep your skill set up. So that would be to take the roof off of it and model the inside walls. Again, you're like, oh my god, it's really not that hard. It might even be easier than the sweep for you. I think I did this in like an hour and a half. I know that I probably model slower than you, so it's also not correct. I was just kind of like trying to get it so you would get the sense of what the reach was. These windows are very wrong. I forgot to draw one in here.
Did you use the floor plan?
Yes, I used the floor plan.
But the way you extrude things, you didn't do
I didn't do sweep. This,
wall.
right, so this was all extrusions from this plan.
Put underneath and just bring it up and then trim.
Yeah, I went through each wall and I brought it up, and then I capped. And then when there was something like a window, I went in and I made it, like I put a block in from here to there.
Oh, you can just have it.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I did for this, but you would use your elevation for the height. This is just the sample, the gist of it.
And you want this by next Tuesday?
Is again, this is the reach. Yes.
Like if you did decide you
Yes.
want Tuesday.
Yes. Again, no pressure, but this is your double pyramid, so to say.
And then Tuesday we also have
The drawing set done. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing the reach, make sure your drawing set's pretty much there and you feel good with modeling. Again, it won't hurt your grade if you don't do this. And I would encourage you to pick a clean axon over the reach. So, yeah, focus, yeah. This would, and you would include this one, or you would do this instead of the massing. So it would be this one or the other one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So,
For the drawing set, did you put out that template where we have the sizing and the
yes, did everyone else find it? No? Okay. So it's on Blackboard. Oops, all right. So no one found it. I stayed up late trying to get it ready for you for Tuesday. Okay. So our folder, assignment 1, Rhino templates, 1E drawing set template U-House. And then I think I have it open. But it should look something like this. Yes. So here's your tile hatch and all your line weights. It should have all of these in there. You can plop them in here and then it will auto-generate to put it into your drawing set. You'll still need to zoom selected and then size it so that they're all centered. And you'll need to put your own cut lines in.
Did you change the direction of the lens already?
I think I did, but I would still make sure that wherever you're cutting it, that's just always good practice, make sure it's going through. Yeah, I think that's okay. Continue. I stole the file from Thomas, or like he shared it, what he was giving to his students, so I used that as a template for my template. copied the images, but you don't need my images. So does everybody know where that is and found it? The other one we're going to talk about is the ISO for the plot. What changes? Okay. So I also made you guys the ISO. I don't think I named it correctly. Yes, SE isometric. So for this one, let's do zoom selected, and then what scale do we want to use? So theoretically, you can't scale an axon, or it's not going to be like a measurable scale. Let's try 42. So one thing, a cheat, is you can look up CAD scale factors. So if you want it in this scale, you use the scale factor of this. So 1/4 is equal to 48. It just makes it a little bit easier. Oops. So 1/48. Okay, so let's do 1/4. So let's go in here. But you won't say 1/4 because it's not actually 1/4, but scale layout 1 and model 48. Right here. That make sense? Everyone following?
Wait, so you say scale it in 1/4, but then.
Yes, so 1/4 because it's in inches, and so 1/4 of an inch is equal to 1 foot. So like mathematically you do 4 times 12, which is 48, and that's actually your scale factor. So, and then if you're doing so that's what this is. If you're modeling in inches, this is your scale, and then this is what you have to times 1 inch by to get it.
And that's just for the axonometric.
That's only for the axon plot. What do you guys think? That looks like a good size on the page, right? Let me write that down. I'll send that in an email. Okay, so I think, has anybody here tried putting the gradient ISO lines on their axon? Let's just say nobody has to do that, and that this will be the reach instead of having the gradient lines on there, okay? So initially, on yesterday, we talked about adding the gradient lines to our axo. I don't know that we need to do that because it's a 3D image. So if you want to pursue the challenge option, go for this. Don't worry about the lines. This is the way that more or less we will expect it. I'm missing the doodads in the front and like a couple other things, but this is the standard. Have you ever done like online workout videos where like if you're, like here's the modification if you're like sore, here's a modification if you want more. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what these are. This button. Okay, so do we all feel good about what we know to do? We've got our ISO scale, our line weights. Two things people wanted to talk about were the skylight and the front door extrusion, right? Okay. So let's talk about the front door. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Oops. So what I did also to make my other one is I just copied the heavy lines. from the plan because those are the only ones that are really probably going to be extruded, so it made everything look a lot cleaner. So I just locked everything else. Okay. So let's copy. What's going on with this? So there's two ways you could do it. One way is to do a box, so make sure you're on the right layer. Actually, let's go to our elevations and figure out the height of our box. 126 or 125. Yeah, so let's just do 126. So box. I'm going to go out to here, 126. There's that, and then maybe let's get our sweep. Oops, I meant to copy that. So, and you'll notice some of you had a problem with this thing. One thing you could do is Boolean split. And then you'll select your cutting surface. Where's my mouse? Not this. Oop. It's gone. You can even get that guy out. So if you're just doing the profile or the massing, the exterior, you can do it like that. If you want to do your doors, let's go back to our elevation. And opening another box. Let's make it 2 feet. Alright, so one thing that's really useful is hide. So okay, let's do show. And you want to make sure that it's partially sticking in and partially sticking out. Just stick it out a little bit. And do Boolean split. I think I forgot to. Nope. Alright, this is what I was supposed to hit. And then you'll make your doors, which you can do the same thing, you just make them 2 inches. Okay. Box. One trick too is if you're making things that are in the same level, if you always click on the lines and not the line close to the extrusion, you won't have, they'll be on the same plane. Because a lot of times if you draw right on top of each other, you'll notice when you go in 3D that like the boxes you put aren't on the same level you wanted them. So if you just kind of stick to drawing on the lines, that will work around that. Again, good practice is changing the doors. Now we know where this is. I'm going to group them. What's my what?
Your print properties for the doors actually.
Theoretically, they could. But sometimes if you want to go and change like all the doors and the windows, that'll like save you time. And sometimes when you're, right now we're gonna manually change all the lines, but you'll get to a point where you model windows and they'll be like the equivalent of medium. All right, we've got doors. And then for these dudes, let's go back to top. And, whoops. So this is where we use scale 1D. I noticed I didn't make my box long enough. Ooh. All right, let's do. Okay. So that just stretched it out without affecting the heights. Now we'll go and put our boxes in. And make sure you select outside of the model. We did 3 feet, 6 inches. Okay. And that is our entryway. Any questions? That seem feasible? All right, maybe let's talk about punching holes in our side and making windows. So let's steal our elevation here. On my copy. Here. And group it. Let's do it from here. Oops. So if we just hit this right here, we should see that this mostly lines up with what we drew, or what we modeled. So again, this will be a little bit of a game about moving it back and forth, but you should be able to trim. All right, trim. That work at all? Looks like I got one of them in. All right. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Wait. Okay, let's see. What came out? Okay, let me hit this. Another thing is if it's not working, and often it doesn't work, just make sure your lines, things lined up. Okay, I'll try one more time and then I'll show you another option. There it is. Ooh. What? Looks like it trimmed all the way through. Come on, let me see what happened. And some of you have talked about Rhino being glitchy. It does do that, especially if it doesn't really understand what you want from it. Awesome. It looks like my windows at some point did trim. Also, it seems like it copied a bunch of them. Let's get out a wireframe. Let's try explode. one time for did I get it? I'm not sure. Oops, okay. So, let's see, as I got my window panes. Ooh. Like that, and you can see the drawings in the background. And I want to double check I didn't actually trim the other side, which I think I actually did. But, oh, it's still there, great. To make your windows, a good, easy way to do it is just to go back to your elevation again. So let's make these windows. Let's make a box. Let's make it, how thick is it? 8 inches for a wall, so we'll do 9. Let's do hide. And let's do box. I'm going to do 10 inches. So I'll click on this. And so I'm just booleaning split, and then I'll have a window frame. So here's what I'm cutting through. I don't know what's going on. There we go. You have to make sure that your splitting object goes all the way through, or else it won't make it. Alright, here's our window pane. Also, I think Thomas said this, but if you've been doing generally good and you're having a hard time with the 3D modeling, this assignment E is like watered down by the other ones, so it won't make or break your assignment 1. Just so don't get too in your head about it. Where is this? And I just want to see that they come out a little bit. And, whoa, that sticks way too far out. I think I'm missing a line. Okay, so it looks like I lost one of my sweep lines. I was trimming. But theoretically, it would look like this. But my trim went bad. So, offset surface. Nope, I wanted to go the other way. Okay, now we got it back. So that was offset surface, which is kind of like offset line, but you do it with the surface. And then I got my window panes back. And then here's these two. Was that clear? Sorry, that was a little bit wonky because of Rhino. A lot of shrugs. I think you can do, let's try, I'm just gonna try this real quick. Boolean split. All right, I would just use Boolean split instead of trim. That actually works way easier. So I'll do it again. So let's do this side, the window things here. Again, you don't have to do these because they're not going to be in our view, but just to show you how to make windows again. So one thing you could do to save time probably is extrude. Let's make it 12 inches so we know it cuts through our walls. Parallels and selected. And let's cap it. Make it work. Let us. Okay. So extrude. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing this as an example of how to cut through it. You know why? There it is. Okay. That's annoying. Okay, group. Yeah, I'm gonna this should theoretically be able to trim. If worst case scenario, you just make a big box and then make boxes for the window panes. I thought this might save time, but I don't think it's actually going to. So ideally, you would use your elevation to line it up, like we did with the other one, and just copy the line works. All right, we'll do that just so we do it right. Oh no, I stole the whole window. Okay. Alright, I've got like 8 versions of this file. So, group. Oops. And then okay, so this oops. A little bit too far. Okay, so you want to make sure you can see it. And this one I accidentally moved the windows out of it, but I know that they are like right next to this thing. So I can use the elevation flipped horizontally to see where they would go. So click on my surface, Boolean split. All right. Well,
I see if you're just.
yeah, this is just an example. You won't even see these. It's just how to trim windows. And then, all right, it didn't work. Oh, did it work? It didn't work. Last resort. The box. And then this I would be using my elevation, but right now I'm just trying to get the gist of it. So if all else fails, make a box in the right size. Line it up. Again, I know this isn't right. I'm just showing. This is only the tutorial on trimming. Boolean split. And that'll punch a hole in it. The other ones, theoretically, and then you could put in the other ones. But this didn't go all the way through. So. No, it's right. You have to make sure your extrusion is thick enough. So it looks like my wall didn't go all the way, so I would just stretch it out and then redo it. So, Boolean split, cutting object, and then there's your window, and then this is just the wall behind it. So this is what it would look like. Make sense? So I take back of using trim command, use Boolean split and box to get through the wall. It seems like the other one was not working as well as it should have. All right, does everyone feel better about it now? We're using box instead. Sorry, that was not as precise as I would have hoped, but I think we got there. Okay, uh-oh. Oh, no. Were those, the skylights. So, you didn't like the box by, all right.
It was just part of the snap. Like I put that in, I just eyeball it and just remember the ball.
That's kind of what I did. I tried to snap too, and it wasn't working. Let's see. Polyline. We did 3, and then offset 2. This one should probably be a little higher. Let's do cap. And then so that a little bit better behaved about layers. Oh, it is on Windows. Okay. And then this should be this on exterior walls. So here's our skylight. I'm going to group it. And I'm going to use this wall to help me get it in the right. So let's go to top, rotate. So yeah, the main thing is trying to find what you can use. To line it up. All right. So, we know that the back wall from the south elevation has the angle in it. So, let's go to a orthogonal view so we can see it. So, line it up. And that's about right. So that looks pretty good. Let's go back to top. Oops. And then let's use this to get it back in the right angle. And then let's do copy. And I'm going to copy this corner and paste it on this corner. See what happens. Oh, it didn't work. Where is it?
It's just really high up. It's really high up.
Oh, okay, where is it?
You got messed up again.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't. Alright, that didn't work because this angle is probably different. Undo that. Alright, so maybe what we could do is, let's do, what is it, clipping plane? Yeah, what was I trying to say the other day? Top, clipping pane?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa, what the heck? Okay, that's not really want it. So I would use top to kind of get it where I want it in the circle. So I'm gonna do, there we go. Ooh, okay. First, let me seal this. And then let's do this. Dang it, I've lost it in this view. Why can't I see it? Dang it. Alright, let's try. Alright, so it is a pain in the butt. I think that's still crooked. But yeah, just try it. The main thing is just moving it around so that you can get the view you need. I think I should have put it back on flat before I moved it. Yeah. You extrude something and you cut the top of it? I didn't, but I should probably still know what. Alright, well.
Who would flip? You do that in
Oh, what happened?
Well, I just drew it and then went to perspective and then just highlighted. I actually the video from the slope and just wrote it over.
Alright, so yeah, just eyeball it and do your best. If it looks really weird, trim it and make 2D. But I feel like just using that looked.
I feel like I don't get it all looks so much more creative. And that has so much time.
So yeah, I feel like that looks well, and that's just eyeballed with the gumbo. Sorry, that was unclear. I tried to give you like easy ways to not have to eyeball it, but it turns out just like switching between views and using the gumball got the best result. So ignore the other ones I did and just do this, unless you get the other ways to work. Okay, so we feel good? All right, so let's do a quick break. Let's go back to the studio. I'm going to meet with Thomas and the other instructors, and then I'll be down and we can do individual problem shooting. Then you guys can just get some work done.